So, I don't know. Can I have the whiteboard?
This is a demonstration
Here it
of
comes.
Wirecast.
Hello? We're okay now? Okay? David, Margie, tell me we're okay now? Okay? Uh, do you mean, excuse me. We're on, really? You guys missed my brilliant beginning? I have to tell you, it was one of the best beginnings of a show I've ever done in my life, and you missed it. I can't repeat it. You know, it was just a moment's brilliance, and now it's gone. Just kidding. I was talking about the pens and how I'm a little blurry-eyed, but I'm happy. So we're good? Yes. Okay. Never a dull moment. Geez, I hate to jump right into all the horror. So let's not.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
This has nothing to do with anything that we normally talk about. But it was the kind of thing that a newspaper does every once in a while to create chatter and get people worked up, and as if they're not worked up enough. And I thought for those of you who are film buffs, we can take a quick look at this. For some reason, the New York Times, two main critics, Manola Dargis and A.O. Scott,
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
decided that they would rank all of the movies that have come out in this century. Now, of course, we're 17 years into the century. This clearly is an idea that came out of desperation. I mean, it's not like it's like midway through or quarter of the way through. What are the 25 best movies of the first 25 years of? I mean, it doesn't even...
This
So,
is a demonstration
I have
of
to admit
Wirecast.
that I haven't seen some of these films. They just did the top, well, they did the top 20. I haven't even seen some of them. And some that I have, I can't imagine what they're doing on here. But, I mean, not that they weren't good. You'd have to be good. But then I am such a, Swiss cheese brained person that I can't necessarily dredge up movies I've seen in the last 5-10 years that have blown me away. There haven't been a lot, that's for sure. So their number one movie of this century, There Will Be Blood. What do you think about that? There Will Be Blood. The reality is that's one of the movies I've never seen. And I've never seen it because of the title. I'm sorry. A title is There Will Be Blood, and my reaction is no thank you. I see enough of it all over the place. It's on television. It's in every movie. Why should I even bother to go to a movie that literally tells you there will be blood? But now I got to see it. That was their number one movie. And number two
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
An anime movie called Spirited Away. I didn't see that either. I feel like I'm really out of it when I read this. My son has seen that one. That's by a great Japanese filmmaker called Miyazaki. And younger people tend to know his his work. Number 3,
This is a
Clint Eastwood,
demonstration of Wirecast.
$1 Million Baby, Hilary Swank. I mean, it's a good movie, but really? So I'm just telling you because I thought it might annoy some people. The number 4 is A Touch of Sin, another movie, never saw. It's a Chinese director, assume a Chinese movie. And one thing this tells me, this list already, is
a
that
demonstration of Wirecast.
if you only go to see Hollywood films, you apparently are missing out on a whole bunch of great cinema. And a lot of, they're harder to find. Films like this, A Touch of Sin, or the anime movie, I don't know, they might play for a week or two, and they might be someplace that you never would think of, like, Melwood or Regent Square, but not at the main theaters.
This is a demonstration.
And I have to
of
tell you, I never
Wirecast.
saw number 5 either. I never even heard of it. The Death of Mr. Lazarescu. Number 6 is another Asian film. I've heard of it, but I still haven't seen it. It's called Yi Yi. About a little boy. And speaking of little boys, no. Number 7, I saw. Inside Out, that too, animated. I thought really wonderful. I mean, wonderful. Not only wonderful, but educational. About truly, they managed to scientifically be very spot on about how emotions work, how our inner selves function. And the great moral of this wonderful little film that made you laugh and made you cry was a great moral. Was that
demonstration of Wirecast.
You can't have joy without sorrow. And that's all part of life. Which brings us to number 8, Boyhood, which I did see, which was that amazing movie that took 12 years to make because it followed the life of one boy through his, I don't know when it started, when he was maybe about 6, and then takes him through to 18 and going off to college. Same actors, same, and that alone was daunting and astonishing and really pretty amazing, I thought. Number 9, never saw it, Summer Hours. Doesn't know, I have not a clue what that is. And number 10, I did see, thank God I finally saw one, The Hurt Locker.
Demonstration of Wirecast.
Which I agree was a good movie. Was it one of the 10 best of this century? Granted, it's not 17 years. Was it that good? I don't know. And quickly, I'll just let you know what they did say for the next, bring us up to their top 25. So starting with 11, a movie that was universally panned. They picked for number 11, Inside Llewellyn Davis.
This is a demonstration of
number 12,
Wirecast.
Timbuktu. 13, In Jackson Heights. 14, L'Enfant. Got to tell you, again, you're all scratching your heads like I am. It was a lot of good movies we've apparently missed. Number 15, White Material. Number 16, Munich. I did see that. Number 17, 3 Times. Number 18, The Gleaners and I. No, didn't see that either.
Wirecast.
Yay, 19, Mad Max Fury Road. I saw it. I never would have seen it, except my son insisted that it was like one of the most brilliant movies ever. And I have to tell you, if you get over your reluctance for the genre of little dialogue and lots of action, it is good. I'm not hearing you. They're still saying. Wait a minute.
This is a demonstration of
No. Some are
Wirecast.
saying I can't. No. Sound came on for a second. Now it's off. That was sent at 10:06. 10:06, I hear you. 10:07, sound working now. 10:10, I'm not hearing you. Will you go figure this? Every 10 seconds, here, David's telling us, there is a buffer running in the background. I wouldn't recommend Point Park as a media school based on this show's track record. There's every 10 seconds or so, a watermark reading powered by Wirecast pops up with a voice saying, this is a demonstration of Wirecast. Well,
the audio's working at least.
Yeah, so I got to tell you, Wirecast is the problem. My understanding
This is a demonstration
this is
of
the
Wirecast.
they shouldn't be advertising themselves when all they're doing is annoying everybody. I don't know what to tell you guys. So it makes it impossible to listen to the show right now, or what? Do we soldier on? I'm glad I'm not doing anything of any import here. I mean, I could be telling you something that would change your life, and you wouldn't be hearing me. Powered by Wirecast. If they only knew, they would not be putting that up. Because what it really should say is not powered by Wirecast. Powered on occasion by Wirecast. What are we thinking we'll do? Turn it off for a second and put...
I can shut it down and turn it back up. To get the audio working, that's what made that watermark come up.
Uh-huh.
Pro feature.
So what do you think we should do?
She's going to grab Alex just to double check to see if he can get them.
Okay, we're going to grab a tech guy.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
And see what we should do. Meanwhile, they're hearing me? Okay, so I'm going to continue with these movies. So number 19, best movies of this century, Mad Max Fury Road. Number 20, Moonlight. A good little movie. Number 21, Wendy and Lucy. Number 22, I'm Not There. Number 23, Silent Light. Number 24, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And 25, the 40-year-old friggin' virgin. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, so what movies aren't on this? See, that's the problem. I look at this and I think, geez, there's a lot of ones I never saw. But I can't remember. Oh, here's some that other people are suggesting. The Pianist,
Demonstration of Wirecast.
Avatar, Zero Dark 30, Beasts of the Southern Wild. I loved that movie. Slumdog Millionaire. I thought it was a great movie. Fences. Somebody put his number one. Who did that? Number one. This was Antoine Fuqua, who is a director. They asked some directors, what are you? And what Antoine said, he picked Fences because it reminded him of his childhood growing up in Pittsburgh.
Is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Why didn't I know Antoine Fuqua grew up here? He directed Training Day. He directed The Magnificent Seven. So, guys, I don't know. Do we know what we're doing? Alex is coming over.
Of Wirecast.
Okay. I mean, I sort of hate to. So, I mean, just somebody let me know. Is everything okay now? Or are you still being bothered by stuff every 10 seconds or so or whatever? Because if you are, we could just shut it down till we get it running up right. But what the hell? I guess I'll just keep on going. Yeah. This is a
This
demonstration of
demonstration of
Wirecast.
Wirecast.
Keeps popping up. Wirecast! Hey, yoo-hoo! This is not a good demonstration you're putting up here. No one watching this is ever going to buy your product, okay? I am just saying. You should run and hide. If this is a demonstration of Wirecast, you guys have some work to do.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
I hear you, says Gigi. I can ignore Wirecast. Yeah, but you shouldn't have to. That's the thing. Yeah, dang it. Margie says, I don't care if Wirecast is on there. Well, I do. Laura says, everything everyone is saying is true, except that I can hear you and have been able to since you couldn't believe we missed your great intro. Oh, no. So you know I was lying about that.
This is a
The buffer is so
demonstration of
soft it
Wirecast.
isn't an issue. Keep talking is my vote. Well, thank you, Laura. I shall. And Melanie telling me to keep going. And that the Wirecast thing isn't that distracting. Little Tony on subject says, Lynn, I love movies, but I hated There Will Be Blood. I tried to like it, but I just can't. I've seen it more than once, and it sucked. Geez, if I think a movie sucked, I wouldn't see it more than once. You were just trying to like it? Wow. Please continue. The voice in the background is a very low volume. Shut up. Anyway, no, but I'm going to go see it now. There Will Be Blood. I mean, if they say it's the best of the last 17 years, that's a movie I should see. However, I don't know. Some great actors in it, I know that. I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis nails everything he's in.
Demonstration of Wirecast.
What's his name? Dano is a very, very good actor. So I guess, yeah, I'll have to go see it. The latest movie I saw was Wonder Woman, which is garnering lots of media and all kinds of chatter about feminism and what it means. And listen, it was a good movie. It was just a good movie. As those kinds of movies go, it was good because it had something for everybody.
Wirecast.
It had romance. It had action. It had a lot of half-naked, gorgeous women jumping around. It had comedy. It had tragedy. It pretty much, had all that stuff. So, but there was a sincerity about it that I found endearing. There was, I don't know. I thought it was pretty damn good for
This
that
is a
kind
demonstration
of
Wirecast.
cartoon-ish movie. Listen to this great quote I came across by Willie Nelson. I want to share it. Willie Nelson, the great American philosopher. Yeah, I'll say it twice so you can really take it in. The early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
For some reason, I just thought that was brilliant. I don't quite know what it means in terms of how to live one's life, but the early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. Oh, dear. Okay. So I hear that our lovely first
This
daughter
is a
was on
demonstration
Fox
of
News this
Wirecast.
morning, and she was saying, she talks like this. She talks. She said, I'm just surprised by the level of viciousness. The viciousness. I wasn't expecting that. The intensity, the viciousness.
This is a
God.
demonstration
Ivanka,
of
dear, you want
Wirecast.
vicious? Will you look around at your father and his buddies and what they're doing to millions or planning to do to millions of Americans? Taking away their health care, polluting their water. I mean, that kind of ruining their public schools. Does that qualify as viciousness? Does
This is a demonstration
screaming
of Wirecast.
lock her up at a presidential candidate? Did anyone scream that at you, dear? It's just fascinating how I guess you live in a little bubble. You don't have a clue. So I wish these guys would go away. Do you think they'll be gone soon? I can't take it.
This is
Who's
a
going to be gone
demonstration
next?
of
Sessions?
Wirecast.
I think Sessions. And apparently the president has already told beleaguered Chief of Staff Reince Priebus that he'll be gone by July 4th if he doesn't make things right. Well, I think he really said to him, "You're gone either way, but make things right by July 4th so I can bring in my real
This is a
homies,
demonstration of
namely
Wirecast.
that appalling, what's his name? What's the appalling jerk who was his his main guy and then got a little physical with a female reporter and ended up Lewandowski. Yeah, Priebus, I think, was quoted or said to somebody, "I've got one foot on a banana peel and the other foot out the door." So I think that about sums that up.
This is a
And
demonstration of Wirecast.
the problem is, and it's been said many times, I'll just do it one more. He ain't going to have anybody left in the White House staff. There's nobody that can please him because he's impossible. The worst boss in the universe. He'll never fill that communications director position that this Dubke guy who ran or was pushed out held. How would you be his communications secretary when he says one thing, the defense secretary says another. He says one thing, the press secretary says another, and then he undercuts the press secretary, and then the next day changes it back to what the press secretary said. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. So it's impossible. The other problem is that no one in their right mind will take a job on this sinking ship. Why would you want to mess up what might be a very impressive resume up to this point by jumping on board this leaky vessel? I mean, maybe if you're so ambitious, you want it on there, but I don't think anyone who's like thinking ahead would willingly accept a job in this administration. That's my guess. So he's still not. There's a vast majority, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of major positions that don't even have nominees. He doesn't even have nominees for them, let alone Senate hearings for signing off or not on them. It's just amazing. Really amazing.
This is a demonstration
or not, because I think we're
Wirecast.
getting inured. That's my guess. It's hard not to. It's hard not to. That you just can't keep responding in the same manner that you did when you first became aware of what exactly kind of a nightmare we were now engaging in together. Okay, so let me
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Let me share something that was in. It's a first-person account by a regular human being that was in the Wall Street Journal. And I was surprised to see it in the Wall Street Journal because it's a first-person account of somebody who lives in a rural area who is talking about how Trump's policy, one policy in particular, is destroying the lives of the people he lives with. And that's the kind of thing you expect to read in Mother Jones, maybe, but not in the Wall Street Journal. It's a fascinating little peek at a slice of life, not that far from here, since it is in Pennsylvania. And this little guy lives in a town called, this guy lives in a little town called York Springs. Don't know if any of you ever been there. It's a population of about 800 or so. It doesn't even have a stoplight or stop sign. You can just blow right through it and not know you were there. York Springs, that the 2010 census said it was 800 people. But get this, almost half Hispanic. And you're thinking, what? In the middle of rural Pennsylvania, you got a town of 800 and half of them are Hispanic? That just doesn't sound like our demographic around these parts. Well, you'd be surprised. This is in Adams County. Where's Adams County? We don't know. You expect us to know? Americans don't know geography. Says here it looks like a Wyeth painting. Red barns, rolling hills, blossoming trees. It's like living in a calendar, the guy who writes this says. And it has rural American values, instinctively traditional and oriented toward family and hard work. You know, I was thinking that's the values I grew up with, too. Those are good values. Family and hard work. But Crispin Sartwell, who's writing this, says it's just that a lot of the folks living these values here have brownish skin and speak Spanish. Some of them are citizens of the United States, some of them are not. Often both within the same family. And the reason there's so many Hispanics there in York Springs, Pennsylvania, is because, get this, it is the fourth highest apple producer in the nation. In the nation! Adams County. Apples. I don't know what varieties, but that's what they do. Man, they grow apples. And if you're not growing apples, chances are you live in Adams County, you're... God, I never understand this. Excuse me. There's such a human parade outside the window here on Wood Street. Some guy just walked by.
This is a demonstration
dressed like it was 20 below. For those of you who maybe don't know, this is going to be a very hot, humid summer day. He had black, puffy stuff. He had it up past his head. He had a scarf. Oh, God. Anyway, I found that more interesting than whatever the hell I was talking about. Anyway, okay, so back to whatever the hell I was talking about. And that is York Springs, Pennsylvania.
Wirecast.
And the fact that it grows more apples than just about any place in the country, except for 3. And if you're not growing those apples, picking those apples, tending those apples, transporting those apples, you're likely employed in a canning plant. That's the jobs in Adams County. They've got so many canning plants
This is a
that the high
demonstration
school
of Wirecast.
school football team and basketball team are called what? Yes, the Canners. The York Springs Canners. Anyway, Donald Trump carried Adams County by 66%. These are his voters, not surprising, rural. The guy who's writing this moved there
This is a
about
demonstration
5-6
of
years ago.
Wirecast.
No. Yeah. I'm sorry. And he is a teacher at Dickinson College in Carlisle, which must be somewhere nearby. And he said since he moved there, the place started really booming. He figures the population is probably now up to over 1,000. And he'd say probably 70% of it is now Hispanic. So it's turning into a Hispanic enclave with lots of work, lots of jobs. He said we even started these people were buying some of the old dilapidated houses that were in town, and they were fixing them up and raising young families. And that there was music playing. There was somebody even had made a business called Renta Fiesta, in which you could get all your stuff for a Mexican party. He said there was even sort of street life happening. A Mexican food truck showed up, and occasionally you would see young couples, holding hands, even interracial young couples holding hands and walking around. There's no sort of like main street. It's just strange little place. Anyway, since Donald Trump came in, so just in the last 4.5 months, he says York Springs has changed completely. No one comes out of their houses, practically. People from ICE, Immigration Control Enforcement, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, right? They've been popping in a lot and grabbing people out of their homes, out of their places of business. They've been arresting people walking down the street. They've been stopping people in their cars and finding that they have some kind of infraction and then taking them away. And there's a phrase now that you hear in York Springs, and that is, they took her to York. York is larger than York Springs. York is where the prison is, 25 miles down the road. And so people are being plucked off the street of this bucolic town that was doing just fine. This teacher who lives there says, it's unbelievable to see. Just see, watch it. He said,
this is a demonstration.
People are living in fear here. That's just since Trump took the oath of office. This is right here in Pennsylvania. Nice little town. People are living in fear. Children aren't even playing in the yard any longer. Parents are afraid to leave their homes, even to walk their children to the bus. The food truck, that's gone.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Pretty much everything is gone. You don't even hear much Mexican music anymore, which you used to hear all the time. And he says this stringent enforcement of immigration law is destroying a rich, new rural culture. A rich, new rural culture. Immigrants have
This is a
always brought
demonstration of
life
Wirecast.
where they come. Hard work and life, renewal, energy, children. This is the kind of town where he tells you earlier that when you grow up, the kids leave, right? They get out of, the high school where they might have played on the Canners football team, but if they want to go somewhere, they in life, they leave, they get out. So these towns would literally just wither away and die demographically. But immigrants come in and make it their own. And so there's life still, energy, youth. And now there's fear and people cowering in their homes. He said, here was a rich, new rural culture.
This is a demonstration of
and
Wirecast.
Trump's immigration policy, hateful immigration policy, ham-handed immigration policy, inhumane, cruel immigration policy, is destroying this new culture. He said it's likely to destroy the economy here too. Duh. The orchards, which is what Adams County's about, those apple orchards. The orchards generate $500 million a year. And are responsible, one way or the other, for most of the jobs that anybody living there has. And if you ask the growers now, the guys who own the orchards, how's it looking this year? They're worried.
Wirecast.
They're worried because they don't know that they'll have enough manpower to care for the crop, to harvest the crop. He ends his little piece this way. So now as we in York Springs spiral into a local depression that is personal, cultural, and economic, a depression in all of those regards. A lot of the immigrants here, a lot of the people here are already regretting their vote. Okay. Fiestas and Apple Orchards, it's called. Small Town Life Before Trump. And this guy wrote it up, and the Wall Street Journal, shockingly to my mind, printed it. My corner of Pennsylvania was thriving again until immigration agents began carting people away. Brilliant. Marky says, I know it. I'm going to dream tonight about Wirecast.
This is a demonstration of
It's
Wirecast.
being like implanted in your brain. You are so screwed. So I got to tell you, there's speaking of in your brain, it's funny how things can get in your head, and sometimes you're just doomed, right? You're doomed. You can't get them out to save you. One thing, when I started watching the Penguins this year, the first time I heard Hainsey's name, I thought maybe his name was Haynes and they were calling him a nickname, Hainsey. Well, that's not true. His name was Hainsey. But my problem is every time I heard it, I sort of cringed because it brought me back to watching football games a while back with some friends who invariably added a Y to players' names when they were loving them. So in other words, watching a football
This
game with
is a
these fans
demonstration
would
of Wirecast.
always, you would have cheers like, Heinzie! Heinzie! When Heinz Ward did something wonderful. And I used to think, oh, shut up. It bugged me. I don't know why. It just bugged me. Heinzie, thisy, everybody had an E on their name. So when I heard Hainsey, that's just like Heinzie. It's only a difference of one friggin' vowel. So every time the announcer says Hainsey, I freaked. And so I shared my discomfort with my son about 4 or 5 games ago. And when we were watching the game last night, every time Hainsey's name got called, he started laughing. And it got to the point where it's ruined for me now. I mean, I can't hear that poor guy's name. There was one series where he was all over the place, defensively, offensively. It was Hainsey this, Hainsey that. And we were both just like, I don't know what it, isn't that weird how like a name, a word can like annoy you? Not his fault. Not his fault at all. A fine name and a fine man, I'm sure. A fine player. But I wish his name was just Haynes. So, I don't know.
This is a
big story
of Wirecast
in Saturday's PG about these overdose deaths. It really is something. I mean, it really is something. I think I've been, flagging them for months and months and months and months and months because I'm an inveterate reader of the obituaries, and it just in the last year you started seeing
this
it.
Is a demonstration
all these young people were popping up in the obituaries. People, there were 23, there were 28, 30. They were white. They were suburban, usually. And they were dead. And man, the numbers are coming in. And it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. And
this
created
of Wirecast.
Totally by the medical community. By your friendly doctor in cahoots with pharmaceuticals. They made a generation of innocent people addicts. And ultimately, the addiction leads to death. It's an extraordinary story. And it might prove to be even worse than the tobacco situation of people knowingly peddling something that was killing the consumers. I don't know. But there's a lot of reputable doctors and certainly rich pharmaceutical types and marketers who've got a lot of blood of young people on their hands. There is no doubt about this. What we do about it still remains under consideration, I guess. We've got Dave in Washington.
Well, good morning, Lynn. Hey, Monday is the only day I can call you, so I got to call you today.
Okay.
Something about the hockey game that I wanted to point out. First off, congratulations, Pens. You guys are awesome. The poor people in Nashville, their mistake was believing that they might actually win.
Yeah. Well,
they're great fans. They really are. They're fantastic.
Well,
fans.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. I want to argue that point. You're not great fans when, after you do lose to a better team, you boo throughout the awarding of the cup. Was so. They embarrassed themselves. What was the point of that? It's outrageous.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll give you that.
Okay.
The one thing about them that I do admire, and just like the Canadian teams, they don't blow
This is
that
a
damn
demonstration
horn all the
of
time throughout the game.
Wirecast.
Oh, God bless him
hate
for
that.
that. Oh, I hate that thing.
I hate it with a passion. I used to think that it was some guy in the stands, just decided to take it upon himself to become a cheerleader. And then I found out, no, it's the Penguin who does it.
They shouldn't do it.
Still there?
Yeah, I do. I'm thinking about that. I didn't know that either. It shouldn't
that's
be
what somebody
allowed.
tells me, but I hate that damn thing. I fucking hate it with a passion. But they don't do it in any of the Canadian arenas, and they did not do it in Nashville. They just throw dead
This
fish
is
on
a
the ice
demonstration
to cover
of
up the
Wirecast.
stink of their own team. That's what I say.
Listen, their own no. Their own team was impressive. That wasn't
they
it?
were.
It
They
was
were
a
very
hell of a team.
Yeah, but we kicked their ass.
Yeah, but they just weren't as good as
Two
we.
shutouts in a row.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
on a completely different note,
Yes.
there are tapes, and they back up Comey. It's
What do you-
obvious. If there weren't any tapes, they would say there's no reason to
This
drag
is a
out the mystery.
demonstration
Are
of
tapes or are there not
Wirecast.
tapes?
Well, here's my guess is there are no tapes. That's just a bluff. But you're right. If there are, he'll say there aren't because he doesn't want the tapes out confirming what Comey has said.
But if there aren't, why is he dragging this out?
Because
Why don't they just say there are none?
I think this guy is nuts. He thinks he's still on a reality show, and that's what you do to keep the attention on you. I don't know.
This is
And
a
next week
demonstration
we'll
of
find
Wirecast.
out, are there tapes or are there not? I mean, I just think in his head, he's always doing what he knows how to do.
Which is keep you tuned in.
Keep you tuned in through flim
That's right,
flammery
'cause
or whatever the hell it takes.
I'll let you know in a few days if there's going to be any. This is what he does. It drags you on. Well, stay tuned. Tune in again next week.
And then he
same
said,
back channel.
I think you'll be very disappointed, which might mean
This
what?
is a
I think that means that
demonstration of
there aren't
Wirecast.
any tapes. But that means he's again
knows?
a liar. I mean, just
Yeah, just dragging you on.
an effing liar. And you gotta again. I've read a few things saying that, you know what? Do not expect these Republicans to turn on him. Do not expect it. They will sell their souls and hang with him out of total fear that his brilliant voters will take them down in 2018.
But even his
is a
base is
demonstration of
slowly starting to
Wirecast.
erode. His base, people who enthusiastically support him, that number is dropping. They still support him, but the enthusiastic support is beginning to drop. And that's the first sign of a slight amount of erosion.
But
we'll
these
see
are
what
people
happens
that
in the
would
midterm.
rather, Dave, these people would rather die than vote for
Oh, yeah.
a Democrat, okay?
Yeah. They would rather, they'll burn the place down before they.
Right.
They still say, hey, Hillary Clinton, Hillary. This is much. I still hear people say that George W. Bush
This
was better
is a
than
demonstration
Al Gore.
of
And I'm like, oh,
Wirecast.
come on, give me a. This is what they. It's infuriating. These people are just so out of touch with reality. It's just
They are,
infuriating.
and I don't know what you can do because there's a whole media universe that is in place that continues to peddle the alternative reality that they are signing up for. Hey, what do you think of? I happened to see Megyn Kelly.
This is a demonstration
Remember
of
Megan?
I haven't seen that show,
Wirecast.
but I heard she
Well,
had Alex Jones on.
Yeah, that's what. No, she's going to have Alex Jones on next week. I saw she played a little bit of it. Why would you give this despicable and destructive clown that kind
Airtime.
of platform?
Because she's still coming from that Fox News exploit. Anything, the more outrageous, the more viewers you get. That's all she really cares
Well,
about.
that is what.
She
Yeah,
still
she
has
wants
that
viewers.
message.
Of
She's not a
Wirecast.
news person. She's an entertainer.
Stop and think if you're one of. Can you imagine if you're one of the family members of one of the children
In Newtown.
in Newtown that he said were actors?
Fake.
They're not really dead. There are no dead children. Why somebody who would say such a thing would be given a second of that kind of media attention except to be, I don't know, ripped
This is a
apart limb
demonstration
from
of
limb. And that's not
Wirecast.
what she's going to do to him. And the pain this
Still coming
caused.
from the Fox News. She still has that Fox News in her. Where again, it's just all exploitation and drama, and it's not even news. It's entertainment. They don't care about news and facts. And she still has that very much in her head.
Well, it's entertainment for a soulless culture.
Yeah. Well, that's them. That's Fox.
Well, they've got the audience, though, so that's us.
This is a demonstration
They
of
are
Wirecast.
the madrasas of the American conservative right. They radicalize their viewers, just like the crazy Islamic terrorists.
Hey,
You sit there and watch that shit long enough, and all of a sudden you've lost your mind. You're totally into it.
well, there's
You believe every single thing they say.
there are books written about it, how families have watched their parents literally become,
This is a demonstration of
crazed,
Wirecast.
Radicalized.
angry people who no longer, who were, isn't that, can you imagine? When I say destructive, I as I said, Roger Ailes will go down in history as one of the great villains of the downfall of this great democratic experiment, the United States of America.
If you remember 30 years ago, Lee Atwater was George H.W. Bush's campaign manager or whatever. And
This
he's the one
is a
who really
demonstration
started
of
going for the
Wirecast.
throat.
Right.
The politics is war. And on his deathbed, he
Yes.
repented for what he had done.
Yeah, because on his deathbed, he got scared. He knew what he had done, and he was really trying to get God to see that I get it now. I was horrible. And he did. He was just slobberingly recanting almost everything he did. But did the Republicans learn from that recantation?
demonstration
No,
of
they
Wirecast.
doubled down.
What they learned is that it works. You get elected if you do that. That's the lesson they learned. Not the moral of the story, just the practical application. If you fight dirty, you will win. And you will get this nice cushy job in Washington, D.C. that makes a lot of money, and then you can get out of that job and get a job somewhere else and make even more money. It's all money. It's all about getting reelected. And these dumb idiots here in the country keep electing
This
these
is a
people. I don't blame the
demonstration of
bull for
Wirecast.
tearing up the China shop. I blame the people who let him in and who refuse to chase him out. Those are the people responsible for what Trump is doing. And, just the sorry state of this country right now. We've lost our leadership position, blah, blah, blah. And I blame the voters. I'm sorry, women, you're going to lose your right to choose. I am sorry. It's a bummer. So many of you voted for Trump. I do my part every election. It is your issue alone, because it doesn't affect me. I'm a 58-year-old
This is a
man.
demonstration
I'm not
of
going to have an
Wirecast.
abortion. But I support your right to do so. But if you don't support your right to do so, then I'm no longer going to fight this war and bemoan this right that you guys are going to lose. I'm sorry, women. You got to start voting appropriately for yourselves.
A majority of white women voted
For
Trump.
Yep.
Voted for Mr. Pussy grabbing.
I think a lot of that is because women don't like other powerful
is a
women.
Well,
I
I
think they didn't like
Wirecast.
Hillary Clinton because, look in offices. I've worked in a bunch of offices where the woman on top is the most hated person in the office
Right.
by the other women.
Right. No,
By
I
the
mean
other women.
that is true, and powerful women. The ugliest male. Ask any woman in television where the ugliest hate mail comes from. And now email. I mean, I've got letters. Always from women.
This is a demonstration
Ripping you
of
apart
Wirecast.
for your clothes, your hair, your voice, your this. It's other women. And I have to tell you, that stunned me. Back.
And then they want to be taken
back.
seriously. Don't judge me by my hair, by my clothes, by the way I speak. Judge me by my mind. Okay, I'll do that.
That's why I'm a
right, I gotta get out. I
sapiosexual.
gotta go
Okay, goodbye.
I I gotta go wash the dishes. Bye.
Bye. Oh, what a man. I love a
This
man
is
who
a
washes
demonstration
dishes.
of Wirecast.
Okay, another quote. I got me some quotes today. This one is from Voltaire. I still like Willie Nelson's quote better, but here's Voltaire, who's more known for quotes. Doubt is not a pleasant condition, but certainty is absurd.
This is a demonstration
Yes!
of Wirecast.
There are people who cannot live with doubt. They require certainty. They cannot live with chaos, which is what life is, which is what reality is. They want certainty. And those are the same people who fall for the black and white
This
universe
is a demonstration
peddled
of
by
Wirecast.
Fox News. You're either with us or against us. It's this or it's that. You're an enemy or you're on our side. That's it. It's just, you got two choices. There is no gray in between when that's all there is. We live in gray. We don't live in black and white. It's why religion holds such a strong pull on people, because it gives them,
This is a
if
demonstration
they'll
of
do that leap
Wirecast.
of faith, it gives them that certainty that somehow makes sense of or ameliorates the fear of the chaos out there, the unpredictability of life. So, I don't know, does it boil down to just a personality type? See, I'm
This is
somebody
a demonstration of
to whom
Wirecast.
certainty always seems absurd. And believe me, there's people who listen to this show who are full of certainty that they're right, that their perspective, their view is right. It's on all, it doesn't know any ideological, although I do think no, it's not true. Some of the most certain people I've ever seen are like lefties.
This
People
is
who
a
just,
demonstration
it doesn't
of
matter. It's a
Wirecast.
religion or it's an ideology. It's some kind of stricture that defines things for you and puts it all in a place where then it becomes less confusing, less unsettling. And so you jump in, you jump on. I have friends who are such atheists, it's
This
unbelievable.
is a demonstration of Wirecast.
And yet, they have political ideologies which they subscribe to like a religion. It's no different. Everything they see is through that prism. So that then orders their life, their perception, their reaction to everything. And I always get such a kick out of it because I think they're unaware
This is a demonstration
You
of
scoff,
Wirecast.
I think. about people who have faith in a God, but you have faith in an ideology. I don't see the difference. I don't see the difference. I really don't. The only way to live is to learn, with a semblance of
This is a
being willing to
demonstration of
embrace life
Wirecast.
as it is to live fearlessly in a unpredictable and chaotic universe. That's it. You gotta summon up the courage to take it all in, take it all on. Welcome it. It's life. Ain't necessarily pretty. Ain't necessarily ordered. No.
This is a demonstration of
And those who
Wirecast.
cannot live with that disorder, which is real reality, are people who are easy pickings for bullshit peddlers, snake oil salesmen, whether they wear ministerial garb or whether
This is
they're a Fox
demonstration
News
of Wirecast.
host. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. They're peddling what? Some kind of medicine that'll get you through. Oh, I didn't know it was that late. Hang on. Okay, Samuel writes, first it was audio problems, which continue. And now they put a robot voiceover and logo right on your face.
This is a demonstration
It's on my
of
face.
Wirecast.
Get off! Get off! Is it? I'm not going to see it there, am I? Okay. Well, that might maybe be grateful for that. I don't know. Seriously. Maybe even the distractions outside your studio window may be part of an organized effort to undercut your show. No. Let's not get conspiratorial. This needs to stop, says Samuel, because it's going to undermine your
This is a
viewership.
demonstration of Wirecast.
Tell management this disrespect is unacceptable and stop it. You tell them from me. Get your crap off my camera. Also, I've noticed that the white blouses really bring out your excellent natural tan. Please always feel free to habitually wear pure white. And really, Lynn, it's okay
This is a
if that
demonstration
becomes
of Wirecast.
obsessive compulsive. Well, Samuel, that's the oddest little email of the day, but I appreciate your passion. And I thank you. You know, somebody, last time I wore this blouse, somebody said, you always look good in white. And that was a lady who said that to me. So there must be something to it. You'll see me in a lot of white. Well, I'm sorry about this. Wirecast sucks. We can all say
This
that.
is a demonstration of
Wirecast sucks! Well, I'll see you tomorrow, I hope. And perhaps by then we will have Wirecast, what? Out. Wouldn't that be great? Just fucking get rid of it! Okay, bye!
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com.
This is a demonstration
The
of
opinions
Wirecast.
expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper or its advertisers.
This is a demonstration